Hi, hello, this is Castor Risk, and welcome back to Koppai Podcast, episode 24. I am one of your hosts, Castor Risk, joined alongside Mr. Koppai himself, Zach Risk.
Koppai Kaz.
Koppai me. And today, we have a lot to talk about, a lot to say, a lot to share, even though it may be a little bit of a shorter episode than usual. This will be our special E3 extravaganza episode, including a look at what we're going to be getting from Nintendo at E3 this year, including a look back on previous E3s with Nintendo, and our wacky, silly, or maybe completely credible predictions for Nintendo at E3. But first and foremost, some house cleaning. The house is dirty and we need to clean it.
Yes.
There's everything everywhere, even on the walls, on the ceiling, and it has an odor. And it needs to be washed off.
A putrid odor.
Yeah, and it's very pungent, is the word the kids use nowadays. They're like, yo, bruh, totally pungent. That's how they talk on the skateball fields.
The skateball fields?
Oh, man. First and foremost, we talked about this last week, but I want to thank everyone once again. Our subscriber number is growing.
It's expanding.
Expanding.
As Donkey Kong would
just
say.
like Donkey Kong would say. Like he did once say in Donkey Kong Tropical Expand. Tropical Expansion. We're growing, and we're incredibly grateful for that. Not only are we growing in subscriber count, but we're getting more followers on Twitter, we're getting more engagement, we're getting longer watch times, and we want to thank you so much for that and encourage you to continue to share us with your friends. If you're listening to this on Monday, that means it is still May, and it means you still have a chance to refer Koppai Gaming to your friends if they message us or tweet at us or comment on a video or anything, somehow contact us and say, yo, Bill sent me over here. Bullet Same sent me over here, and I subscribed because of him. You will get an extra Amiibo entry for the month of May because we're doing an Amiibo giveaway in just a couple days. Also, we're adding closed captioning, subtitles, eventually to every video of Koppai. For now, we're doing like the most recent ones, snippets, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Zach's going through and doing most of those. I've contributed a little bit, but it's mostly Zach, Mr. Koppai. Closed captioning brought to you by Mr. Koppai. The reason to do so is, one, if you are hard of hearing, if you're deaf, if you have a deaf friend that loves Nintendo, they can enjoy our discussion and just read along. If they can listen partially, they can. It's very engaging, and we're doing it in such a way where it's very slick. You can see who's talking, when they're talking. It's all separated. It's very, very nice, very well done, and it also helps get our content out there. People can easily find and search for it, and so that's a win-win-win. Hopefully it's more engaging if you do like to watch something while you're watching the video. The subtitles flow along quite nicely. Other than that, I think be sure to check out our reaction to the Nintendo MH announcement or leak or whatever that really was.
Yep.
The Nintendo mobile unit that's not the NX. And also be sure to check out last week where we had an interview with Matt Rathel from Hive Jump, Graphic Lab. He's a video game developer working on a Wii U console exclusive. Very, very awesome indie game. Very Contra, very Metroid, very kind of 2D pixel art Destiny sort of game. People are really enjoying that interview, and it was a really good time. Our apologies for any audio issues with that episode. We had some mic issues with the Skype call. It was totally our bad. And so we tried to fix it the best we could, but there was still a little bit of a static in some audio levels that we tried to fix, but there's only so much you can do. And we thought we'd made it very redeemable. It's another good reason that the subtitles are awesome. Yeah. And they're being added to that. They may even be almost completely added by that point. Lots of the snippets are having them.
Yeah.
Zach, what's on your heart? What's on your mind here?
Well, I was actually thinking, you mentioned Bullet Same, right? Mm-hmm. And as I came out of the shower, I think yesterday, I was thinking about Bullet Same.
Nice. I'm always thinking about Bullet Same.
I know.
I have a tattoo of his name on my bullet.
And I was just thinking about his name. And what is the origin? We need to have him tell us what is the origin of his name, Bullet Same. Because I was thinking, is it supposed to be Bullet Sam? Mm-hmm. And he added the E on the end? Or, like, because it says, like, what does that mean? What does Bullet Same mean?
I believe, though,
is it Bullet Sam? Because that makes kind of sense. Like, is there a character named Bullet Sam?
No, I don't think so. There's Bullet Bill.
Yeah.
I believe, because he likes us on Facebook, and I saw his real face, his real name, everything. Right. I know Bullet Same personally now. And his name wasn't Sam. I won't say his real name because,
Yeah.
Why would we share that? There's no reason to. It's not relevant to the story. But I can say it's not Sam. It did start with a B, and I wonder if his real name's Bullet. But I saw no Sam or any indication.
Yeah.
So, Bullet, be sure to comment and let us know.
What is the origin story about Bullet Same? Because it was just curious. It was on my mind, and it also kind of made me think of David Bowie's album Aladdin Sane, Bullet Same, and I was like, and just what is going on with that name?
I'm wondering, too.
It was intriguing me. It was haunting me because he's always around. He's
always tuning in. We have a couple loyal people.
Yeah.
I'd like to mention them, but I'm kind of worried that if I start to mention a few, I'm going to leave someone out. But I do want to give a shout out to the people that have been joining us on gaming.youtube.com/Koppai Gaming/live. We've been live streaming a lot. That's how we've been getting a lot of our new followers. And also, I've been getting more views and watch time with our other videos. We streamed last night, and we had quite a few new faces come in. A lot of people have been very encouraging to us, saying that we are very uplifting, very nice, very kind, very community focused, which is really kind of cool that it reflects our original purpose with Koppai that we talked about, I think, in episode 13, like when we reinvigorated all of Koppai. And so, interesting enough, this is episode 24. Prior to the rebranding, when we launched back in March, we had done 12 episodes. That means this is episode 12 of our rebranded Koppai, which means from now on we are officially in the longer side of Koppai.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, we're growing, we're expanding, we're getting momentum, we're speeding up, we're going towards episode 100. We're gonna have Bill Trinan on, and be sure also, if you want to make all these dreams come true, if you want to expand Koppai, go to patreon.com/Koppai Productions and give us $1. Where in a couple days you're going to be getting a June exclusive. We're going to be talking about Super Mario, the whole series, our favorite memories, our favorite moments, and what we think of the series, where we want it to go, etc., etc. And also, if you do give $1, you get that episode. You also get an Animal Crossing, Zelda, and Pokemon episode, each an hour long, all for $1. A quarter an hour. That's an awesome rate.
What a deal.
What a deal indeed. And you get to help Koppai. But first, Zach, why are we recording so early? We are recording this on Tuesday, May 24th. May 24th. Episode 24.
2016.
Episode 24 on May 24th.
Wow. How perfect. All these 2-hour, episode 22.
Yeah.
24 on the 24th.
It's almost as if there's some sort of symbolic thing going on.
Yes.
Some sort of stars aligning and getting us all these subscribers.
Yes.
And things and benefits. Zach, you're
the Koppai gods.
We're the Iowad is looking down and smiling upon us with favor. Next to Yamamuchi, I believe was his name, the first Nintendo president. Close.
Yamaguchi?
Yeah, there you go. They're looking down on us with favor. Zach, we are leaving Thursday.
Yes, we are.
We're hopping into a rocket, taking off towards the sky and landing in the south.
And that's what I'm most nervous about. This whole thing.
You are getting married on Friday.
Yeah, I am.
To a lady.
Yep.
You've known her for a while.
I have.
You've been dating for a while and been engaged for a while, and now you're gonna get married for a while.
Yeah.
And,
hopefully.
Yeah. And so I'm gonna go down there. I'm gonna watch you get married because that's what people do. They just stare and watch. And we're gonna go on the beach because it's in Florida. And it's going to be a fun destination wedding. We're going to go to Universal Studios. If you guys want to do a meet and greet, any Koppaites out there, hit us up on Twitter, @Koppai Media. We seriously will meet with you. That'd be so legit. If we have time, which we probably would. We'd make time to meet a Koppai. Yeah, because that'd be so surreal.
Well, it's possible that, like, it's supposed to perhaps we had plans to go to Universal Studios on Saturday after the wedding. And it's looking as though the weather might not shape up for that.
How's the weather looking for your wedding?
We're really hoping that it's not going to rain. It's like a 20% chance right now.
From what I heard, my fiance went to Florida last year, and she said she was on the beach all the time, and there was like a couple hour gap where it just poured and then it stops. And apparently that happens a lot in Florida. So they always have like storm warnings, but they always just come and go. So I would think you'd be fine.
Yeah.
But
I would think so. I'd hope so.
But so anyway, the long and short of this, we're leaving on Thursday. You're getting married on Friday. We're partying all day Saturday. I'm coming back on Sunday. You're going on a honeymoon on Sunday. You'll be gone for how long?
I'll be gone for 5. Well, I'll be getting back 5 days. It's gonna be Thursday through Thursday for me.
Okay, Thursday through Thursday. So yeah, you'll be back for episode
You'll be
20.
Thursday through Sunday, not through Sunday. You'll be back on Sunday,
Yeah.
and I'll be Thursday through
and
on.
so you'll be able to do episode 25 and yada yada yada.
Yep.
Like we'll be back, we'll be in the groove of things, so everything will be going copacetic. So that's why we're doing this episode so early, because this one will go up on Monday while Zach's gone. I'll be back, so I can talk to you guys. I can say hello. Maybe I can do some live streaming myself. And then we'll also have the Gene episodes. That's why we have to record today before we lose Zach to marriage. But he'll be back.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're doing that. And also because we're getting
close.
I'm
so scared. That's my biggest fear. Like I said, I'm most nervous about the plane ride because I hate flying.
Well, the
airplanes.
thing is we won't. Koppai Gaming won't lose Zach.
Yeah.
If Koppai loses anyone because of the plane thing, they'll lose both of us, and Koppai Gaming will be no more. In which case, this actual.
But that's not necessarily true because. I mean, there's a potential because you'll be flying back on Sunday and I'll be flying back on Thursday. So there's going to be separate flights. We'll be on. So
there's a chance I could die and you wouldn't die.
And there's that chance too that the entire family riding back.
Oh my gosh!
I'll have to live with that, and especially Kayla. I'll put most of the blame on her because she's the one who chose the whole destination.
People fly.
That's what I keep
all
thinking.
the
That's what I
time.
keep assuring myself. That
My fiance
actually
flew.
thinking, right now, there's planes landing and going
Yeah.
off. It's all going good. And
How often have you flown?
I've flown? I think like 5 times, maybe 4 or 5 times.
Not too often. I've flown a couple. I went to New York, which that's a scary place
Is that
to
the
fly
only
to.
time you've flown? Is just to New York and back?
I've flown to New York and back twice, so 4 flights. I believe. Maybe I feel like I've flown another time beyond that. But
I think I've flown actually more than 4 times. I know I went to Vegas and back, and then I went to Vegas and back, and then so that's 4, right?
Yeah.
And then I've gone to Florida, and then we went to Florida, and then we went to Texas, and then to Kearney on our way back from Florida. So there's 7.
7 flights.
And I'm
so
always
4 to
like,
7. No, you got this, man. You got this. Just
Sometimes it's like really
snort
pretty.
some
though,
Xanax,
too.
you'll be good to go.
Yeah. Get
I'm
the
think-
on-flight drinks, like.
now I'm thinking like every time like we say like little passing jokes now.
Yeah.
I've noticed that with the closed captioning, it brings them all to light,
Uh-huh.
and it makes it a lot more funnier. Like because you have to like kind of include that. It's like the whole snort some Xanax thing. It's gonna be down there at the bottom.
Yeah, that's true.
And now this is gonna be at the bottom, and so is this. But also beyond all of that, you're gonna make it back. I'm gonna make it back.
Yeah.
You'll be married. I'll be getting married soon. We're gonna have to talk about that later.
Simba will be fine.
Simba will be fine. Everything's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
But what may or may not be okay is E3 is nearly upon us.
That's true.
That's the true worry in the midst of all of this. Because E3, when this goes up, will be officially 2 weeks away. The dot. And so, what we're going to do today, because we're recording literally like the day after episode 23 went up.
Yeah.
So we've had no time for new news.
Yeah.
The only really big news that we've had was the Nintendo MH thing, which we did a reaction to. So
Yeah.
there's really no news for us to go off of as of now.
Yep.
And
It'll
so-
be a busy week. Episode 25 will be jam-packed with a lot of news, probably.
Yeah. You'll be back. You'll be married, and we'll have.
And
to
I'll
just
be
record.
like, Koppai Kaz, what happened while I was gone? You'll be like, there was new Pokemon that were announced. There was...
Turns out that Pokemon Sun and Moon is going to have all the regions. It's going to come to the NX, which is all going to have confirmed cartridges.
They announced the NX while you're on your cruise.
Well, that's what happened. Last year I was gone, and I was in a place with no Wi-Fi for a whole week. I was in South Dakota for a week, and that week they announced Fallout 4, and Nintendo announced their E3 plans, and like all these announcements for E3 because it was that first week of June. I remember coming back and seeing like that the Fallout trailer had come out. They had been officially announced, and it seemed as if the real Fallout had happened because everything was just like, whoa, everything had happened. And so you'll probably have that when you come back. It'll be a very similar situation. And so what we're going to do is we're going to look ahead at what's going on with E3. We're going to look back at previous E3s.
Yeah, we're going to go into the future.
Back to the future.
To the,
Past. And then we're going to give our wacky, silly ideas.
Yes, which I have not... Which will probably be Koppai on the fly
Oh,
as we
Koppai on the fly.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So, E3 this year.
Yes.
Zelda. Nintendo Treehouse.
Only Zelda.
Reggie.
No NX.
Yeah. Air conditioner turned off at the same point when we said that. Quietness. Still. No, I think... So here's what we know so far. Everything we know so far about E3 2016. Zelda, Wii U / NX will be shown. Now, it won't be showing the NX version, presumably.
Yeah.
But it could be. Like, it could be
Zelda. I think that we've talked and we've heard some other people talking about how if you want to maybe see a bit of what the NX is going to be like, watch Zelda NX or Zelda Wii U / NX very closely, and maybe you'll get an idea.
I would not be surprised. Well, I would be surprised, but I don't think it's out of the complete realm of possibility that they're playing the NX version. Yeah. And maybe NX is allowed to use gamepad
That's a good
controllers.
point too, because they want to show like the highest end version, but they might even be showing one that's even better than the NX one. Perhaps that sometimes they do that. They'll just show a build that's on a PC or something that's like absolutely.
I mean, they maybe should and they maybe even be using like maybe a covered up controller or maybe like a very generic one or something like they even use. I wouldn't be surprised if they used the Wii U Pro controller, and I bet maybe the Pro controller can carry over to the Nintendo NX.
Yeah, that's a good point. I bet it does.
And maybe they're like, this is just our generic Nintendo controller, and they're playing the NX version, and they may even say, like, this is running on the Nintendo NX. But beyond that, they'll show nothing.
But it makes me wonder, about Twilight Princess and how that was a GameCube Wii / release, right? Uh-huh. And when you look at Twilight Princess, really, I don't think that necessarily, because, it was kind of catered to both consoles a bit, and especially since it started off as a GameCube game, I think that looking at that game, it doesn't really give away a lot about what the Wii is.
Yeah, true.
Until they add, like, the motion things, like the optional things, so I really think that it would probably be about the same situation with this version, that you're not going to be able to get much from it.
I bet Zelda U, from what they show, I mean, they're going to have like the slow motion mechanics, the arrow stuff, all the improvements they have as far as the core Zelda game. But I think as far as controls go, it's going to very much so be Wind Waker HD. Mini-map at the bottom, inventory at the bottom on the gamepad.
Yeah.
Play like that, move your camera around, yada 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 yada.
I think that if we're going to really get an innovative, what they need to do, if they're going to do an innovative thing straight off the go with the NX as a launch title, they'll have their Zelda that's transferred from the Wii U, basically, kind of just like the Twilight Princess, but Mario as how it was like the one that broke ground with the 64 and even the Wii. It seemed to use a lot of the motion really well in that game that felt right and felt good, and just with the whole gravity thing. It seems like Mario is a perfect... If they're really going to do the 3D Mario launch title, like, I believe that Emily Rogers has come out and said that that's a high possibility, and it's rumored to be one of the launch titles, that could be one that they actually show the new way to play the NX, how this is the new way to play it. Zelda could just be another one of those launch titles to push it, but Mario really could show the possibility of, and I don't think we'll see that at E3. We'll see that maybe potentially when they announce the NX and what the launch titles will be, but, something like that. I think that may be more something to look for in terms of seeing what the NX could all be about. If it's not just a screen and a controller, that really is not... I don't know, because it's supposed to be a new way to play, so, we'll have to see what that really is, because a screen and a controller doesn't seem
like a new way to play.
Right, so.
Yeah.
I
mean, my big questions right now about E3 are, one, are they really only showing Zelda?
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people are like, just believe it.
Yeah.
Just believe it. Nintendo, they've always said this in the past, we're doing this, and people are like, are you really going to do it? And they're like, yes, we really are. And I know it sucks, but that's what we're doing. You should have just expected that.
Yeah.
But it's also Nintendo, and you always have to be a little bit wondering if they're going to do anything later. We'll talk about that in a future snippet later in this episode when we talk about our wacky predictions, because that's going to be kind of breaking the mold. This snippet will be isolated to what we know for sure. What we do know for sure is that Nintendo is making this whole experience super immersive.
Yeah.
They're making it so, the show floor is going to be Zelda.
Yeah.
It's probably going to have decorations. It's going to look, maybe there's going to be like a castle you can go into. Maybe like There's gonna have like props. You're gonna have Miyamoto there dressed up as Link. Like they're gonna make this a show.
Yeah, it'll finally be the full reveal of Zelda Wii U / NX.
We'll get a title.
We'll get
Glorious. A title.
Yeah.
There'll be like banners and everything. We'll probably get that leaked prior to E3. Someone will probably take a picture of the show floor, as they set up.
Yeah.
And it'll probably be, like Zelda yada yada. Just like we got Mario Maker leaked prior to Mario Maker being announced at E3. Someone posted a picture of one of the kiosks that said Mario Maker. At that point, it was just Mario Maker, not Super Mario Maker.
Yeah.
Super Mario Maker. But, so I think that's what my big question is, just how exactly, like, what's the extent? Because you look at something like, we look at previous years and stuff, which we'll get into more detail soon. We look at previous years, they have like Nintendo World Championships, which is a full-on stage and full-on propaganda and branding. You have the Super Smash Bros. Invitational, which had like that big screen and people with the seats and the GameCube controllers all hooked up and stuff. And you have Splatoon, for example, which has that huge banner, which has like Splatoon and like a special cutout and stuff. I just wonder exactly to what extent they're doing this whole Zelda experience. Is it going to go beyond, and is that going to be the only thing? Like, is the main focus going to be Zelda, but then there's like little trinkets of kiosks beyond that have like the Pokemon Sun and Moon banner? Or is it, when you walk in Nintendo's side of things, is it going to be Welcome to Zelda Land? Nothing else. Because I know what we know for sure is that they're not going to showcase anything beyond Zelda. But does that mean nothing else is on the kiosks or what? And so I'm interested to see the final floor plan, the final look, etc., etc. I'm hyped for this E3, regardless of the disappointment that it's only Zelda. Yeah. I'm still excited because I feel like they're gonna rock it. Like they know they have to.
I feel like they're definitely gonna rock the Zelda.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Rock the Zelda,
rock the Zelda, rock the Zelda. No, but
there you go. Use that, Nintendo. There you go. Another jingle.
Yeah, they never use our jingles. Come on, Bill Trinan. We know you're listening. Maybe Bill Trinan is Bullet Same. It's his code name.
That's a high possibility, and I think that you're in on that.
I wouldn't. I'm not in on anything. I've told you. But yeah, I think
one day he'll come clean to me, and I'll be like, yes! Now I'm inside the Nintendo
Circle
Insider Club.
Of Trust.
Yeah.
Anything else we know for sure at E3? It's going to be live. There's no digital... They haven't announced any digital event.
Yeah, but... I was going to say, too, like I'm really excited, too. I'm excited for E3 and for the Zelda experience to see what the game actually... Because it's just... Like, the Twilight Princess reveal was so kind of emotional and cool. It's because it's been a while since we've got a new, like, real Zelda game. So it's always kind of cool to get that. And even though they've teased it the past couple E3s, I feel like they just really haven't given us enough of it. And I hope they don't. I hope they're smart with it, that they don't go too overboard. And... because I guess some of their directs and their E3 presentations aren't too long. But if they're going into Treehouse all day long with it, I guess that's always optional. I hope that they just do like a main sort of choreographed sort of Zelda experience thing with the Treehouse. It's not necessarily just like we see in the past where they're sitting on a booth, with a TV screen in front of them, and it's just like, all right, we're just shuffling people through.
They can do a completely new thing, yeah.
Yeah, I think that we even maybe talked about that, where we think it's going to be completely different than their usual Treehouse experience. But I'm really just excited to see what the story is exactly, what the world kind of is.
Are we going to watch the whole thing?
Well, we're going to do our reacts. We're going to be doing our live coverage of it.
I was going to ask that too, yeah. I hope I don't work Tuesday morning. If I do, I may just ask like a friend to cover me.
Yeah.
I had to work morning though, so I'd be able to maybe get off early or something, but... we'll do a live coverage of that. We'll do it over on gaming.youtube.com/KoppaiGaming/live. Look for it then if you're interested to tune into our live reactions and thoughts.
I was also going to comment about just how it's kind of, you were saying that Nintendo were in this kind of weird spot with them where they say that they're going to do something and they stick with it usually. They have these past couple of years. They've really stuck with when they say this is all we're going to be doing. That's all they do. And then, and that's why a lot of people recently have been like, yeah, Nintendo, when they say that, that's all they do. And then they used to not be that way. They used to be, like you say, the one that would have the little surprise at the end, or just be like, we're going to do this, and then tease something. They always had that, and it seems like only recently they've really kind of shifted to this like really strict. We're gonna stick.
That
with
being
this.
said, we were pretty confident that their shareholders meeting, their fiscal meeting, their financial meeting was going to be a boring thing. Most people were saying, guys, don't expect this. Don't expect a game announcement. Don't expect an NX talk. Expect numbers from the past year. And then there became leaks and rumors that there may be like things, but for the whole month, a lot of people were saying, oh, there's nothing happening. And then we ended up getting the NX announcement, NX release date, Fire Emblem, Animal Crossing being mobile titles. We got Miitomo stuff. Like we got quite a bit of information just for an overnight meeting. And they surprised us right out of the gate. They just dumped information on us. I still wouldn't be surprised if they didn't stick to the schedule, but we'll talk about that soon.
Yeah.
For now,
let's
look back at Nintendo at E3. Should we go from earliest to latest or the latest E3 back?
I say we go the latest one and we just go back.
Last year.
Kind of how we did before we kind of did our little prep for the show. Mm-hmm. And it seemed just pretty natural.
So last year, Nintendo at E3 2015.
Yeah.
Satoru Iwata's last E3. Mm-hmm. Very odd year.
He wasn't really present.
He wasn't very present. He was sick,
which
actually.
Which was sad, yeah. It was like... Because he had been getting better. It seemed like everybody thought he was getting better, and then it was like he's not there.
He didn't even appear like physically in the digital event. He was just as a puppet. It was very weird.
Yeah.
Should have been a cue to everyone that something wasn't completely right.
Although, but I mean, just it fit the whole Star Fox thing. It
was brilliant that he did it that way. But I think in hindsight, we kind of realized why that was all happening.
Yeah.
You had the puppets. It was a very lackluster year because it was the same sort of mentality we're having now, where it was like, they're going to do something. They're going to rock it. They're going to come out here and they're going to announce this. They're not going to just focus on that. And they talked about Star Fox Zero, which I believe maybe we hadn't known about that. So we got Star Fox Zero for the very first time.
We'd known about it, yeah. We expected that was going to be the one.
Yeah, but we didn't. But at E3, all he showed was the blurry screen. We got Super Mario Maker, which in hindsight was huge. Once again, it's a game that you really had to play and they had to showcase for the whole rest of the year.
Yeah.
At E3 alone, especially through the digital event, still very hard to understand why this is so hype. Like we were hyped, but I
don't know. I was from the beginning. I was like, "Wow, this game's gonna be absolutely nuts."
I think though, when they tagged the Super on there, it was like, okay, this is getting...
Once they started showing, like, the separate themes...
Yeah,
and, like, all the different things you could do, it was just getting kind of mind-blowing. Like, when you started to really see that this isn't just going to be a simple...
Should have been the complete focus at E3 that year.
Yeah, it should have been the Mario Maker experience or something like the Zelda thing. Like, maybe they're like, dang it, we should have done that.
They kind of had it with the Invitational, but they didn't really, beyond that, go too far. Because even the Invitational
they did
a lot of
kind
other
of have
games.
a mixed bag with the Star Fox and the Mario Maker kind of competing that. This year, it seems they can really give...
I think they learned from that. I think they were like, we got to focus on one game and one game only.
Yeah.
They're going a little too far, though, to the thing.
They're going. It seems almost like it gives me a little reminder of a first party like Bethesda coming out and doing a mainly Fallout 4 sort of centric thing. It seems a little first party more so than a big company doing a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
It seems like this is our one little first party game that we're working on. Like it's not a little, I guess.
Maybe they just learned. Maybe they started using E3 for that though. Like that.
Yeah.
Just like they learned maybe.
But they're directs. Yeah, it's like that always has to be thrown into the conversation too. It's just their directs have thrown everything off. Like we get little E3s throughout the year now. So
we also there was discussion and stuff. I think maybe some talk very briefly about Zelda U. There's lots of amiibo announcements, new amiibo, yada yada yada, and then Legend of Zelda Triforce Heroes. Mm-hmm. Which for me personally just flew right over my head, whatever.
Yeah.
And so, because I think it's the same thing we talked about Metroid Federation Force, where Metroid Federation Force probably on its own wouldn't be too bad, but it's when the expectation was built up for a whole new Metroid that the game falls short. And we were going to E3 wanting Zelda U details, and we got Triforce Heroes. It's not that Triforce Heroes is bad. It's actually a pretty fun and creative and clever game. It's just in hindsight, or like in correlation with the expectation of Zelda U, it's not good.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, E3 at 2014, we have Super Smash Bros., and the Super Smash Bros. Invitational.
We didn't. That was 20. Wait.
This is 2014 with the Super Smash. No. You're right. 2015. I forgot to mention.
We missed a couple things because there was the Nintendo World Championships. We kind of commented on briefly about the Mario Maker there.
Pardon me.
They did use that as a really good platform for that, but we also got like the Reggie versus H box, which was really, because that had been
built up
over a couple of years, or from the
Just
year
1
before.
year.
Yeah. And what was crazy about that too is just how much Smash had also, the competitive scene had really blown up.
And Nintendo had embraced it very well.
Yeah, they had. And
and what you have here in your notes here is that we also that Sunday had a Nintendo Direct by Sakurai himself, Masahiro Sakurai, the little boy we talked about with the Kid Icarus snippet.
Little feline man.
Yeah, little feline man. He had done a Direct Sunday morning prior to all of E3 to talk about some new characters.
Yeah.
Which, my theory is we'll get that again this year. I think we're going to get a Nintendo Direct that weekend prior. A whole lineup of stuff. I mean, even if it's already announced, I'm not expecting much from that. I'm not expecting some bombshells here where it's Galaxy 3... Mario Kart 8 DLC expansion pack, this new Smash character. I'm not expecting that, but I am expecting more Color Splash, more maybe another holiday game, or a little just snuck in one, some 3DS titles, yada yada. I'm expecting something like that on Sunday with maybe Bill Trennan, doing a quick announcement. Here's some games that we're gonna have launching. By the way, check out Nintendo Treehouse Live this Tuesday. Nintendo Treehouse starts on Tuesday. Start off straight into it, and throughout the show they can talk about by the way, did you see that Direct? That was awesome. I can picture them talking like that and looking back on it, because it's with an example like this from 2015 with Sakurai just busting out some Super Smash Bros. Information Sunday morning. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for us to see that again.
Yeah.
This Sunday morning. Well, not this Sunday, but this E3 Sunday prior.
Yeah.
Yeah. But before that, E3 2014 was Smash, and Smash. I think what that was, because that year is pretty much Smash. We had a Direct. We had
and that Zelda. Might have been actually. I mean, they really killed it that year. I think wasn't the
killed it in a good way.
Yeah.
Okay.
But was it that year that they won E3 everybody pronounced, or was it the year before? Where it was they really won. I think it was 2014, wasn't it?
It's always debatable with winning E3.
I think that it was with 2014.
I think people looked at the Smash Invitational at E3 2014 and combined with the kind of the Direct and just that format.
And that was I think a lot of Wada, Reggie is in the Direct and everything. That was just and then didn't they use the Robot Chicken that year as well?
I believe so.
And so that year, wow, yeah.
Yeah, because this last year was Puppets. Year before that was
Robot Chicken.
I believe Robot Chicken.
And Smash just I was just going to say some people might have been kind of people that weren't as hyped for Smash, this is the main focus of E3 basically this year. But I don't know, they did so well with all of that, and I think everybody was so in an atmosphere of ready for a new Smash game since it's been so long. And it looked so good, and they'd actually perfected it and changed, and they really embraced the competitive scene, and so everything.
The GameCube controller back.
Yeah, it was
that sexy commercial where it's boom.
Oh man, it was great. That was great.
Yeah, and I mean, because for the most part, they showed Zelda U, they showed Splatoon. That's a big one. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
But they could have gone into
Splatoon and Smash, the competitive scene that year.
Yeah, they could have gone into E3 2014 though, and that year maybe we wouldn't have liked it at first, but they could have said, "Hey, this year we're only focusing on Smash," and the Nintendo Direct could have been the way it was, It could have had the Smash announcements. It could have had the Invitational. It could have had the Treehouse playing and showing off different mechanics and people on the show floor playing the game. And it could have been just fine, I think. And I think the same way that really having the heavy focus on Smash that year paid off for them,
Yeah.
I think that could still happen again with Zelda this year.
Maybe. Yeah,
Maybe.
I just don't know. Because Splatoon, and then we had also Mario
Splatoon was
Maker
important.
announced.
The only thing, though, with Splatoon at E3 that year, and I'll stick by this statement even though I love Splatoon now, I still think Splatoon that year at E3 was just really bizarre. Along with Smash.
I think that it really had a foundational help for the game of everybody coming out and being like, wow, Splatoon was the the show stealer of the whole thing.
For people, I mean,
and so it made everybody really, I gotta try this game out. I gotta see it for myself.
I think a lot of people were that whole I gotta try it now because of everyone else talking about it. For me personally, I was just like, I do need to play it for myself. But until I do, what?
I know, but I'm saying that even I was kind of that way too. But it still laid something. It planted that seed in a lot of people's minds. I think that gave them more of okay, people actually at E3 who were able to experience the game were all highly praising it. So even though, despite me not initially being warm about it, there's got to be something. I still got to there's something still there that's.
And they knew too that they needed someone to play this game.
Yeah.
And since they can't just mass blast it out before the game's release, the best people to get to play it would be IGN, GameXplain, GameSpot, Polygon, Kotaku. And so they have all these guys playing it, and they can tell us how awesome it is. But yeah, I think that was tricky. That was tricky, especially going alongside Smash. Whereas, I want to focus on Smash, but you have this really big banner for Splatoon. What's going on?
Yeah.
What's up, everybody? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good year, though.
Yeah.
I think we're going to make that maybe a separate snippet. How Nintendo won E3 2014.
Yeah.
And how they can maybe win 2016.
Yeah.
They won't win 2016.
Yeah, I think that was one of their best years they've ever had in their history.
I remember being so happy.
Mm-hmm. It was a great year for Nintendo fans.
Yeah, it was fun. Lots of nostalgia with that year with Smash.
Yeah.
And that was also the first time we had ever kind of started doing Koppai, experimenting with it. Yeah. We did the Smash picks of the day. Oh, good memories. E3 21-3. See what I did there? E3 1-3. Super Mario 3D World, Legend of Zelda: Link Between Worlds, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, Mario Kart 8, and Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U and Nintendo 3DS. Solid launch lineup. You may say, Kaz, sounds like that was the year Nintendo won, but honestly, they didn't really show it off that well.
Smash?
All of it.
What? Okay.
That was
go through that list again. You went through it kind of fast.
I know, because there was so much.
Okay, go through it again.
That year,
Freeze. There was
that year. I know what you're saying. I have a plan. That year, it was the first year they ever did the Nintendo digital event. And I don't think they knew how to do it because a month later, they did a Nintendo Direct where they showed off a huge bunch of levels in co-op with Super Mario 3D World. They showed off more mechanics and behind the scenes and art design stuff of Link Between Worlds. Tropical Freeze came out later. They announced Cranky Kong at a later Game Awards, and it seemed like they had so much stuff that year. Mario Kart 8 and Super Smash. That year, you would think they would win because they had such a solid lineup. Mm-hmm. But all those games could have their own show. It seems like a brand new top-down Zelda, whole show. Super Mario 3D World, whole show. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, maybe not, but they could have done a big focus on that. Mario Kart 8 could have been its own show, and then obviously Smash did get its own show.
Yeah, well.
So there's a balance here. We're looking at all these years.
Yeah.
We've looked at 2015, we've looked at 2014, we've looked at 2016, and now we're looking back in 2013. 2016 is just Zelda.
Yeah.
2015 was basically...
Are you trying to argue for another one single game for 2013?
No, I'm saying there's a balance here.
Yeah.
I'm saying 2014 was perfect, I think. And we say Nintendo won 2014.
Right.
Because they had a big focus on Smash. but they did have Splatoon for the people there to plant that seed, and they also had Amiibo and some Taka Zelda Wii U. Like, like they had a little bit of stuff speckled out. Perfect year. E3 2015 was too divided. They gave equal attention to Star Fox, equal hype to Super Mario Maker. Was too conflicting, I think.
Well, they should have, yeah.
2013 then was so many games. It kind of gets lost in the mumbo jumbo. And now I think 2016 is too few games with only having one big focus.
I don't know. I think that looking back on like 2013 compared to 2014, like I think 2014 was so good. I think 2013 was also super, super good, and it still felt great as a Nintendo fan. Like,
I think the only reason you maybe think it's good is because you're forgetting that, like, at the time, people hated 2013 E3.
Why?
Nintendo people did not like
Mario
Nintendo.
Kart 8 and 3D World. 3D World looked gorgeous.
People liked it.
My personal opinion.
Nintendo fans liked it. The rest of the world was like,
yeah, but I'm talking about as a Nintendo fan. 2013, I really liked because I thought 3D World looked great. I thought Mario Kart 8 looked great. A Link Between Worlds looked amazing. So there were some really solid games, and it wasn't maybe like they won, but it was like, all right, these are some really satisfying games. That's what I'm saying.
It's like they didn't win, and I'm trying to figure out why.
But then with 2015, I feel like Star Fox was a lackluster game that not a lot of people were that hyped for. We didn't see any of it. We didn't see any of it? They didn't show it. I'm pretty sure they showed trailers and stuff for it, didn't they?
From what I remember, it was just the blurry screen. Remember
in 2015?
Remember Miyamoto turned around and was like, "Oh, hey."
No, 2015. It was like mostly they started off with the puppets, and it was.
Oh yeah, they did have the yep. I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Yeah, and so they started off with one of their lackluster games in 2015.
Oh yeah.
Star Fox. They led off with Miyamoto's game, which I mean, we love Star Fox, but even at the time. Like to lead off with that, and I think it was a combination of both Star Fox leading off with a game that critically, like for a mass reception, like despite maybe us being like this is probably a really cool game. I just played Star Fox 64 3D, so I was like pretty hyped for it and stuff. But mass, like everybody else was like, this looks like a GameCube game. Even
especially along like that year was the year of Star Wars Battlefront.
Even a lot of hardcore Nintendo fans were like, I really can't get into this. And that's what they launched with. And then also, I feel like Super Mario Maker, despite it being one of the greatest games of all time, I feel like there was a bit of it's not new enough in a way. It's like, it's very cool. It's very brilliant. It's like kind of, it's game changing in a lot of ways. Brilliant, but it's also not like something so new. It's like something to really buzz about in like a way of, it's like, because we've seen Super Mario, the skin of it. We've seen Super Mario World. We've seen Super Mario 3. We've seen New Super Mario Bros. We've seen all these styles. We've seen like...
And the other big problem was that we had known Mario Maker.
Yeah.
And they didn't really realize
Both games we'd known. And
they also, like with Mario Maker, they had shown a lot of it, and they didn't realize how big it was going to be. And then with E3 2015, I think they realized it could be big, but they still didn't know...
They should have led with it, I think.
But they didn't. Yeah, it seems like they didn't know for sure.
Yeah.
Like they were still doubting it.
And then I think they maybe should have gone into the puppets maybe for the ending or something to send it off.
It seems like until the release,
if they would have gone
Super
into
Mario
the Mario Maker experience, but still had Star Fox like a portion of it maybe at the end, but gone into it of like building like some sort of crazy thing for that. I think maybe they put too much faith in Star Fox, and they had no idea really what they had that year. But I feel like leading from like 2013 to 2014, everything was pretty much going. It was going a lot better for Nintendo compared to, as we'll see maybe in the previous years with like Zombie U and stuff.
Because the thing I'm saying about 2013 is just the fact that
it was when it was finally, we were even saying 2013, and this is kind of finally when the Wii U is like 3D
true.
World came out.
But that's the thing is though, once again, I think. Maybe you're forgetting the fact that at E3, I mean, cause I remember that direct later that month or like a month later, and everyone was like, "Where was this? Like, where was this at E3?" Because it was like a month later. They're like, "Here's more details, more levels, more characters, Rosalina, yada yada yada. Here's this with Mario Kart. Here's some extra levels. Here's this thing. Oh, by the way, here's the new Cranky Kong. By the way, here's this with Link Between." And it was just like. whoa, what? Like, why was this not E3? And it seemed like at E3 they did the digital event, they played through each one a couple times, and it was just very much so like, you guys need a stage presence. And then it just seemed like the E3 that year seems kind of bland. And the reason I remember like it fondly, I think, is just because of that, because of the context of that direct a month later.
Yeah.
But
also, I think, was that not like, when did they exactly start doing their directs? When was like the year that the first direct came out? Because was that
it was
not
2013, I think.
Because I was thinking maybe that was still when people were adjusting a bit to the new format of them having directs, and still not like, why'd you wait for this? And then now in 2016 we kind of more understand, and more people are speculating that they'll probably just do a direct a month later. Like that's kind of maybe where this whole idea that they're going to do that originated, is because of them doing that in 2013.
Yeah. And I think,
and that's just kind of the route they've gone ever since, almost.
I think the ideal format for Nintendo at E3 is the 2014 model.
Yeah.
Start off with a direct to showcase what games you're going to have them be played at the Treehouse live, demonstrated, have if you want to tune into IGN live, you have that. If you want to tune into GameSpot live, you have that. If you want to watch from directly with Nintendo, you have Treehouse live. You see the games that you just got hyped about, or there's some that are still waiting on, and then you have at night the Invitational. That's the true stage event that everyone's hyped for. I think that's the perfect model. And they kind of did it with E3 2015 with the Nintendo World Championships, but it was just not, as we've talked about, as clear with their direction that they wanted to go.
Right.
Speaking, though, of a clear direction that really was a clear direction but not just good, E3 2012, Nintendo Land. E3 2011, the Wii U. Both of those years back to back.
Yeah.
And when you even think back on it, like we think back on these other years, and we have kind of like specific memories. They're a little bit blurred, a little bit fuzzy together. These 2 years back to back, especially Nintendo Land, was like, what is happening?
Yeah.
What is this Wii U thing? I've heard talks and stuff of people talking about the Wii U and how apparently it was like the whole Microsoft sports thing. The Wii U apparently had a very similar thing where it was just controller. Like, and it's just, they never really mentioned it was a new console. They were just always talking about the benefits of a new controller. And beyond that, we won't go too far back. I mean, we have previous years with the Wii, with, you got GameCube at that point, the relevancy of stuff like that. It's more so like talking about nostalgia. But we don't even need to focus too much on the Wii U gamepad announcements and stuff like in the previous stage shows, because they're not really going to be talking about the Nintendo NX. But I think overall, to kind of wrap up this whole previous look at E3 sort of thing, the thing Nintendo needs to do with E3 in the midst of all of this, with the lesson we've learned from the Wii U, the lesson we learned from 2013 and how it was divided between E3 and a Direct later on, what we've learned from 2014 being perfect, and now recently 2015 with it having not a clear direction. The big things we need, I think, from Nintendo 2016 is clear direction. They need to know what game they want to push, and they do. Zelda. They need something else beyond just that focus, because just like they Smash year, like you said, and I kind of like thought like wouldn't have been as perfect if they didn't have like Splatoon to check out and other games to check out. It would have been like, what's going on? You're looking out the window. What's happening?
He's about to probably start barking.
Oh, it's all good.
We're getting a package.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you called it. Tree stop.
Yeah.
Okay. And we're back. Nintendo needs a clear direction, which they have with Zelda. They need something else to accompany that, so people that aren't exactly focusing on that one thing have something to do, like Splatoon, the Splatoon example with Zelda or with Smash. And I still think they need something as a strong physical presence, i.e. the Smash Invitational or Nintendo World Championships.
Yeah.
More importantly, if they do have other games, they need to make sure they're closely accompanied, not like a month later or a month prior. They need to be closely accompanied, but they don't necessarily need to be at E3. Like, they don't need to start out the show. It can be a Sunday prior direct. Yada, yada, yada. Does that sound good?
Yeah. Well, I feel like they just have been in this reputation, this kind of rut of this transition. Everybody everybody seems to know that they're waiting for the NX to come out, and they're like doing this sort of transition, and that I think a lot of people are expecting to kind of be bummed out a bit, and we've even said several times that they need to maybe really step it up for this one and prove to people like what's going on. It seems like they're not necessarily doing that, and they're feeling like that they can just do another sort of just show one game and wait a little bit to show the NX, and I just don't know. I hope that it's okay. I hope they do it all right. I'm just kind of worried for them because of, and just in the terms of mass reception, is everybody going to be harping on them and kind of coming down hard because they messed up again? Because I feel like they got really beat down last year, and their reputation just hasn't really... Everybody's really excited to find out what the NX is, but their reputation really hasn't gone up at all, and it's almost gone down a bit, I'd say, in terms of what they're expecting from them in terms of games lineup and stuff. I don't know, PS4 is just blowing it out of the water, and they're just doing so well, and even Xbox One isn't doing too bad, and I just feel like Nintendo really, really needs to push. Like, they need to come out and they need to be strong. They need to tell us. They just need to come out and be super transparent. I feel for a while, they were really being open with the fans, it seemed, and doing more initiative to...
And like we've talked about in the past, once Iwata passed away, I think they just shut their doors.
Yeah, and it's just unfortunate. And I just hope it all works out. I feel like I'll probably enjoy it just fine.
Yeah, I mean, we'll enjoy it because we're Nintendo fans. My big thing and the confidence I have in this year compared to these other years is that I think Tatsumi Kimishima is confident in what he's doing. And I don't think he would say only Zelda, only this, yada, 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 if he wasn't confident that what they had to show had enough weight to it to satisfy the show. That being said, I'm with everyone else. I completely agree. I wish there was more than Zelda. I wish we were getting E3 2014 where it was like... Because the hype leading up to 2014, because they had announced the fighters, they had announced like Prague and D1 doing the commentary, they had announced the GameCube being a controller, they had announced... I mean, they had announced so much, and it was just like, this is going to be hype. Like, Smash Invitational, it's coming.
Yeah, it's true.
And then they got like the surprise of Splatoon. Like, so there's surprises still to be waited. Like, 2014 was like had such a hype leading up to it, and a lot of the stuff leading up to 2016 is so I think I'm with everyone there that I wish it was different, but I'm optimistic with how they're going to handle.
Like, I hope that they're not being too cocky a bit with Zelda, just because it's been 2 years now or more that we've known it's coming, and I think a lot of people, I don't know do they fully realize that a lot of people are over it, and a lot of people are like...
That's true.
A lot of people are like, I don't really care
Too little,
anymore.
too late.
Yeah.
Because, like, people have... and I don't say this to be, like, knocking Nintendo, but come on. There's The Witcher out there.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways... I mean, I know it's not Zelda.
Yeah.
But in a lot of ways, The Witcher is the best Zelda game ever.
Well,
like,
we
for
got
a lot of people.
Dark Souls 3 and stuff.
Yeah, and the puzzles and stuff. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
you have a lot of Nintendo people that love Dark Souls. I mean, even going back to The Witcher and stuff, I mean, The Witcher is a beautiful open world.
Yeah.
There's puzzle and mystery, detective
has DLC
mechanics.
coming out here
has
really soon.
Blood and Wine's coming, looks gorgeous. You have sword combat, there's crazy monsters, there's crazy boss fights and interesting things. I mean, for a lot of people, The Witcher was that Zelda crave they wanted.
Yeah.
And not only did it scratch that itch of some sort of fantasy world that took them on an epic adventure, but it did it so well.
Yeah.
I mean, it blew Fallout out of the water, which was the king of RPGs for a lot of people. It blew...
Yeah.
I mean, it blew everything away that year. And for a lot of people, they're satisfied with fantasy adventure. And if they do get a Zelda, they want it to be something like that. Something big and epic. They don't want to go... I mean, and if Nintendo is putting all this weight on that, and then it doesn't deliver in that way...
Yeah.
The reason I'm not too worried about that, or not like as publicly worried about that, is because we have heard Aonuma say, "Oh, I played Far Cry the other day and I loved it.
Yeah,
let's delay the game to make it more like that." Oh, I've been playing a lot of other Western games, and
that gives me high hopes, and that Zelda will be based like highly on Western sort of style.
And that's why I think maybe it's going to be jam-packed. I think if they could go out the gate and it basically is on par with The Witcher, I mean, that'd be pretty bold. I mean, it doesn't need to be on par with The Witcher. Witcher, for a lot of people, is too much, actually.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it's on par with these kind of Western RPGs that we have, I think it's gonna be a big thing. But it's the same thing with like Final Fantasy 15.
I find that Witcher is more narratively insane and just robust, and that Zelda is more gameplay. Sort of insane and robust. So
there's always didn't really like the gameplay of The Witcher 3. Sorry, but it's a little too wonky. But
it's kind of simple and just, it's sort of almost Batman Arkham sort of style.
There's some deep mechanics to it.
Yeah, definitely.
But the only thing I didn't like was the movement. But I found out later you can change his movement because right now he moves like if you turn around, he. Really...
I kind of like it honestly a little bit better than like a Skyrim, where at least when you're just kind of like that,
that's true.
you know. At least you had some more,
some flow, some counter, all that. Yeah. To close out the podcast.
Yeah.
Our wacky... We thought it was going to be shorter. We always do. To close out the podcast, our wacky E3 predictions... Yada, 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 yada. What do we think is going to happen that probably won't happen, but we'd like to see happen?
Pokemon Stadium U!
Not going to happen at all. You've been wanting that for years.
I know, that's my, I think it's still my Wii, my Miiverse.
Oh, yeah, where's Pokemon U?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, especially with X and Y, it's almost as if there's, like, no reason for it besides just playing on a TV.
Yeah.
Because especially, like, Pokemon Sun
But
and Moon.
no HD, and
yeah,
it's like,
true.
Oh, my God.
You got Pokken, man. Take Pokken.
That's true. It's a pretty
good substitute, actually.
Yeah.
I mean, it actually kind of works well with the TV because it gives you that space to... I really like the up close and personal battles of Pokken.
Mm-hmm.
My big, insane, wacky wish: Animal Crossing U.
Ooh.
Not Amiibo Festival.
These are not that. I think that we should. These are kind of our like not so insane. Like these are kind of almost realistic in a way.
Pokemon U's definitely not happening.
That's definitely not.
And
Animal Crossing is even more realistic than mine.
Poop my pants. Like,
but that is. But even despite that, like, what is something... We got to come up with something that's even wackier than that. Like, a really wacky... Like, what are they going to...
Is it wacky to say that they will show or talk about or whatever the NX?
Yeah.
I would not be... I mean, I don't think that is too wacky. I would not be surprised if Nintendo... I mean, maybe this is Kimishima's whole plan, because Kimishima's brilliant. I'm finding that out more and more. That people like think Nintendo's stupid, but Kimishima, he knows how to handle a business. He knows how to hype things up in just the right way. He knows how to get everyone is talking about that. We know that like when we're doing like Google studies and stuff to figure out like what people are searching for with Nintendo, we know the world is hungry for the Nintendo NX, and a lot of it's because it's the Nintendo NX. But I think a lot of people also what'd you write down?
Just a little note for myself.
Stop. I think he's brilliant, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if he's like, don't tell anyone, but we're going to show the NX there. Mm-hmm. And then it's just like, they pull it out. Or they announce a video, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a video.
Yeah.
If it was an NX announcement video that they play before Treehouse starts, or at the end of Treehouse, or on Sunday, or on Monday, or at the very end of E3, something like that, during the course of the week.
Here's my wacky theory.
Okay, hit me with it. Talk to me.
The NES re-release, looking slick. All of their consoles re-release.
They're coming back Slim, or GameCube Slim,
N64, something like that. The slim line of them, or like a fusion console of all their old consoles.
Here it is.
They're re-releasing all the old games.
The N64K. 64K.
No, what would be really cool? Another wacky theory is they finally do like the NES 3D games, or like the SNES 3D games, which would be really cool on the 3DS. Something like that would be awesome.
But non-wackiness aside, I do think we're getting a direct.
Yeah.
Kaz was right, is right, will be right. I think
a direct before E3.
I'm gonna stick with during the course of E3.
Right.
I'm not gonna definitively say before. Maybe that makes a little bit of a cop out. But I say like if E3 is considered to be like Sunday to Thursday,
right?
I say we get it during that week. And I'm not saying that we're going to get big announcements. I'm not saying we're going to get this and that. I say there's a video by Nintendo.
Another wacky theory I have. The Wii's not dead there. It's still all good. And here's a new...
The Wii U?
No, the Wii. And Mario Galaxy 3 is coming out for it.
That's just... You're going beyond wacky. You're just going to stupid now. You took a pole vault over Wacky and then just landed upon a stupid.
The GameCube isn't dead. No, the
Okay.
N64.
What's your note?
M.
What's that?
I don't even know.
Oh, okay. What? Literally nothing.
I was starting to write something.
Let us know your wacky E3 predictions that may or may not be wacky. They could be credible. I think we have some solid things. My definitive announcement thing is that we're getting a direct. That's my non-wacky one. I think it'll show off Color Splash, maybe a new Wii U game. Hopefully, my wacky side of that is that it'll show Animal Crossing U
Bill and Reggie fight
to the death.
to the death.
Oh my gosh!
Swords.
On the show floor, Reggie's in a cardboard suit.
That's the
Oh,
Zelda
yeah.
experience.
The Zelda experience. Someone gets murdered with a sword.
Reggie's Ganon.
Just
And Bill is Link.
yeah, it's all of a sudden you just see someone that come on the Treehouse stage and an arrow goes through their head and just oh.
That's actually a pretty good casting, I feel like. Reggie is Ganon and Bill is Link.
He would be a good Ganon.
And Bill would make a good little frail looking kind of Link man.
And then
It's like you went on
Miyamoto
the
comes out dressed as
unsuspecting hero.
Zelda. Little
Yeah.
elf ears. Nice.
No, Miyamoto would come out as Tingle or something, I feel.
No, that would be Tezuki.
Yeah.
Because he
He
no,
is.
Koji Kondo is
Yeah.
Tingle.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see Koji Kondo show up one of these days.
Who would Miyamoto be?
Miyamoto would probably be...
The Happy Mask Salesman?
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Miyamoto, definitely.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Casting a Zelda movie.
With only Nintendo staff.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much for listening to Koppai Podcast, episode 24. If you did enjoy, click the big, juicy, dripping like button. And be sure to share it with your friends and click the subscribe button. If you do subscribe, you are entered to win a monthly amiibo for the month of May. Or if you subscribe in June, if you're listening back at this later date, or July, or August, September, October, November, December, so on, etc., etc. If you refer a friend to Koppai Gaming, then they also, or Koppai Podcast, maybe you're listening on SoundCloud or iTunes. If you refer a friend to follow us, subscribe to us, etc., then they also are entered to win the Amiibo, but you get another entry if they contact us and let us know that you referred them. And if you want to get us farther and improve Koppai in every possible way, head over to patreon.com//Koppai Productions, where you can give us just $1 and you'll get 3 episodes exclusively. Or if you wait a couple days and you give us $1 in June, then you get 4 episodes. But go ahead and do it now. Why wait? Just go ahead and do it. Then it's $2. Well, actually, I think if you go ahead and give us $1 at the very end of May, you probably will only get charged $1, and then you get all the episodes. Because you won't get if you pay $1 now when you're listening to this, you'll get charged at the end of May, but then you won't get charged again until the end of June. And so go ahead, get your episode, get it when it goes live. Be the first. Support us. Help us. And there's other tiers, other rewards. You can get certain things, like you can be on the show. You can get extra NX. Oh, yeah, if you give us $1 on Patreon, I forgot to mention that, you're entered to win a Nintendo NX. So that's pretty big.
X gon' give it to ya!
We're going to give an X to ya.
We're gonna give X to you.
We're gonna give the X to you. No, other than that, be sure to check out our reaction video to the Pokemon, or not the Pokemon, the Pokemon Sun and Moon announcement starters, the Nintendo making movies announcement, and Nintendo MH mobile handheld Monster Hunter Miitomo Harachi. Until Zach, do you have anything to say? What do you want the Koppites to know out there?
I want them to know that before you go to bed tonight, make sure you go potty. No accidents. I always got to remind everybody about that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
It also just is a bummer to wake up and be like, man, I really got to go pee.
I love that.
You like that?
Yeah. Like, how long can I hold it and stay in bed and snooze? And
It's kind of sometimes pretty incredible, like, how long you pee after a whole night of not going.
Yeah. My gosh. Oh, how are we getting more subscribers? I don't understand. Well, people love us. The other thing I was gonna say, when you do go to bed tonight, get off your bed, kneel next to your bed, Put your hands together, your little palms together. Put your elbows on the side of the bed. Put your forehead to the tips of your fingers and just say, "Dear Iowata, E3's in a couple weeks, and all I want is just good news. Good Nintendo happy news."
And go on Koppai, episode 100 for them, please.
Iwata?
Oh, I thought you were spraying to Bill.
No, that's probably not Iwata.
But you said something about Bill in there, didn't you?
No.
That Bill would deliver us good news? Oh,
No.
nope. I just wasn't listening
But
to
you
prayer.
can't add to your little Iwata prayer that Bill does come on.
Yeah. That's what I meant.
Bill, episode 100. By then, we'll hopefully have 100,000 subscribers. That's my goal. 100 by 100.
100 by 100.
Until next time. Nice. Wait. I like it when there's a little bit of a banter after the credits.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When we do it live, you always just cut it right away. But when we do the Skype thing, it's like, that was fun, guys. I mean, that's fine. We can just leave it at that. All right.